First of all, it seems that we have some instructions from the White House in Washington. We would like to reinforce the PLO grip on the Palestinian Authority. That's an American decision that the Israelis seem to go with so far, not to anger the Biden administration.
Right after the Biden-Bennett meeting. Right.
It doesn't mean they're enthused by it. On the other hand, maybe this decision from the Americans is not that wrong and not that bad in that sense that we have a real problem with Hamas. And the PLO is losing ground. It's getting more and more unpopular. It's quite corrupt. And we know it has suppressed a journalist in a very inelegant manner, to say the least. And then this makes the Hamas more and more popular among the Palestinians. Now, the Israelis, what they have been trying to do over the years, and it's very, very difficult, like Benny Gantz, the Minister of Defense, said, the dosage is the problem. How do you support the Palestinian people, the people of the street, show them our goodwill, show them that we don't hate them, that they are not our enemy, while not strengthening too much, but not also weakening too much the government, the leaders. We know that these leaders are worthless. We will never reach a peace with Mr. Abu Mazen. We certainly will not reach a peace with Mr. Sinwar in Gaza. These are the leaders. Most of these leaders, including Mr. Abu Mazen, with all due respect, are former terrorists. They know how to do terror. They don't really know how to run a state. This being said, we as Israelis must continue to score some points with the Palestinian people in the streets. And we have seen at least one thing happen. There is no more Intifada. There is no more large-scale protests in the Palestinian streets. Whatever you will see, violence in Gaza or in the West Bank comes from professional, paid demonstrators, people who are armed, people who are trained, people who are organized by the terror organizations. You will not see a spontaneous going into the street of the Palestinian people. You will see a desire in the Palestinian streets to better their way of life, their quality of life, education, to do business with Israelis. A lot of business is going on between. This is bearing fruit silently in the long term, but of course, the reality on the ground is a security problem.
Your thoughts on Gaza specifically here. Today we're anticipating bigger, I believe the biggest yet, riots on the border here. Benny Gantz saying that there's an equation of quiet for prosperity. Are we there? I mean, why does it appear Israel is giving these concessions to Hamas when by all accounts Hamas is still trying to kill Israelis?
Yet again, I do believe, and I hope at least, that the calculation is the same. We have noticed that after being very, very firm on the advance of the arrangements after the ceasefire, the Israeli government is being very, very nice and soft and opening, and the Hamas is encouraged by this. There are more demonstrations now on the border because the Hamas thinks this, thanks to these demonstrations, that the Israelis are helping more Gaza, but it's not. It's again trying to play on both fronts, on the front of the Palestinian general population. I don't think we need, either in the West Bank or in Gaza, a humanitarian crisis at our door, at our doorstep, a Libanization, if not an Afghanization of the Palestinian territories.
Yeah.
So, and then we also have to keep the peace, the security. That's the main point. We do have a very good cooperation, security-wise, with the Palestinians in the West Bank. They actually help, because they don't want the Hamas to score points, so they help us as against the Hamas. In Gaza, we have the Hamas, but then we have the help of the Egyptians, and we're trying to avoid a new escalation that will come sooner or later, I'm afraid.
Raphael, as always, thanks for the analysis here. Situation developing as we speak.